What's up guys, my name is Shadi Aldada, and if you're somehow stumbling upon this channel, I encourage you to stay. Because what you're going to see is an authentic representation of someone who could be you. Who am I? Well, my name is Shadi Aldada. I'm a business owner working in the fashion industry in Beirut, Lebanon, and I've had the privilege of building a business from zero to over 20 employees to generating millions of dollars in sales over the last 5 years. And ultimately, I've done this by taking on the burden of responsibility. Why am I creating this channel? Well, at some core basis, I believe that the thoughts that are in my head should be channeled out into the world, right? It's almost getting to a point where my mind is just so full of these thoughts that I just need an outlet to get it out there. So whether this video gets 0 views or it gets 100,000 views, it makes no difference in my commitment to continue creating content like this. This is more of a video diary than anything else. It's a way for me to just get my thoughts out there into the world. And hey, if it happens to benefit someone, amazing. This is also a much added side bonus. So who am I speaking to? I'm speaking to a younger generation of men. I'm speaking to men who have lost their way because of a lack of responsibility, because of a lack of ethics, because of a lack of direction. I'm speaking to the people that could be my brother. I'm speaking to the people that could be my friends. I'm speaking to the people that genuinely are finding themselves in a difficult situation where they don't feel that they have momentum in life and the future seems hopeless, and they lack so much of that necessary drive to get up and to chase after life that sometimes that the only answer seems to be an answer that many of us may not want to actually indulge or take. So this is for those people. And ultimately, what I've learned over the years is life is difficult, right? And we learn many things along this path of life. We learn things that if we're smart about it, we're able to use to catapult us forward into the people that we ultimately need to become. And I want to start off this channel with the first lesson, and this is something that I've always seen as the catalyst, right? This is the origin story of who I am today. At my very base, I'm a very average person. I'm average in pretty much every single metric in every single regard. And I don't say this to be self-derogatory, right? I say this to be real and authentic. Am I living an average life right now? I don't believe, no. I think I'm living a pretty extraordinary life with a lot of privileges afforded to me because of the work that I put in over the last 6-7 years. Life wasn't always like this. At some point, I found myself genuinely in a position where I was uncertain about the future. Now I have the privilege of waking up every day to walk into my business, to have 20 amazing team members that are able to follow me into whatever decision I make because they trust me and they respect me. And this is the respect that has been built off of the years of back work, right? This is respect that has been built off of actual results that I've had in my life through putting in the effort and through putting in the work. And this has actually channeled itself into the way that I speak, the way that I carry myself, the way that I dress, the way that I look at people, the way that I am genuinely in life, and the energy that I exist in has changed phenomenally over the last 5 years. You can look at some of the earlier videos on this channel, you can see that change. The reason I mention all of this is, well, number one, you might not know who I am. So you're like, why should I watch this person? And the idea is, I am you. I am fundamentally you. If you are finding yourself in a difficult situation where the future seems hopeless and you don't know what you want to do and you don't know how you're going to make it and you don't know how you're going to find emotional connection and there's so many unknowns that you are genuinely disturbed about almost, well, this is who I used to be. And sure, there are some challenges that I'm currently overcoming, but I would say that I've created the framework for my life that allows me to overcome those challenges when they do arise. So let's look at the beginning, the importance of responsibility. And I want to start this channel off by emphasizing the importance of responsibility specifically for younger men. Because when you look at our generation, you look at a generation of people who have not had to deal with any significant challenges. Anything that we want is available at our fingertips without having to go through any pain or trials or tribulation. What that's done is created a softness in us that is not conducive towards achieving the things that we want to do in life. Historically, men have always been competitive. They've always been aggressive. They've always been leaders. But we found ourselves in a situation where that is no longer the case. What we become is we become followers. We become people that shy away from adversity. We become a species of people that is so afraid of putting themselves in uncomfortable situations that there is not a single scenario in which growth is even a potential. By staying in a baseline of comfort, what we do is we neuter ourselves. We neuter ourselves to the point where the person that we ultimately need to become is never going to be found. And this is the importance of responsibility, because what responsibility is it's a challenge, right? If you look at your baseline, if you look at what you are capable of, most people operate consistently within their baseline. They tell themselves that this is my skill set. So they say, when I try, I'm going to try within my baseline. And what they never do is they never challenge themselves. They never take on tasks. They never take on responsibilities that push them onto the edge of their limits. And what long-term effects this has is stagnation. This creates a sense of complete stagnation over 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. And so or before you know it, you find yourself at 60. The exact same person, sure with a few more scars and sure with a bunch more disappointments, but you find yourself at 60 having not lived the life that you want to live. So I ask myself, who do I want to be at 60? And I often know exactly what that answer is. I know what I want. I want to be incredibly rich. I want to be incredibly wealthy. Why? Well, number one, wealth is freedom. Wealth is the ability to do what you want, when you want, with whoever you want. And don't let anyone ever tell you that wealth is evil. Right? This is a lie that we're being sold consistently on a day-to-day basis to encourage us to not take a risk, to encourage us to not go after the things we want. Well, I want to be wealthy. I want to be wealthy because I want to have every single tool at my fingertips to live the life I want. 2, I want to be able to live the lifestyle that I want, right? I want to have fast cars. I want to be able to indulge in any experience that I want. I want to be able to have a family that loves me, that respects me. I want to be able to go anywhere at any time, to have total location, total financial, and total time freedom, right? These 3 things are key, and this is a buzz term that we see being brought out time and time again, but it's the truth. At the end of the day, if you continue to live in a system that limits your financial wealth, right? That limits your time freedom, aka you can't do what you want to do because you don't have the time to do it, and it limits your geographic freedom while you're neutered. You're neutered as a man, you're neutered as a human being. And this takes us back to step 1. In this long path of life, right? In this tremendous, momentous mountain that you have to climb, how do you start, right? You're just a weakling, right? You're just a newbie. You're just someone who is completely average, or maybe even below average, depending on how you see yourself, right? I'm not judging. How do you start? Well, you start by taking on responsibility. You take on the responsibility for who you are and who you need to become, because responsibility is going to put you in a situation where you no longer allow yourself to succumb to the person that you are, but the person that you need to be. You put yourself in a situation where things are expected of you, and it will start off by you expecting that of yourself, and eventually it turns into people expecting things of you. So let's just say you're someone who's very creative. You'll take on the responsibility of starting a freelancing business, and you'll start off by taking the responsibility of posting content every day on social media to put yourself out there, to be able to allow people to find you. You may not have paying customers, you may not have a thriving business, but what you're doing is you're putting the responsibility to put yourself out there into the world, and you're committing to yourself that every day I'll make a single post. Every day I'll generate a single piece of content because I see that my creative skills are valuable to the world. And then you may find yourself in a position where you're responsible for customers, right? For your freelancing clients. And then that freelancing situation turns into you've hired an employee, then you've hired 5, then you've hired 10, you've hired 20, and then you have these large retainer clients, and you find yourself then getting married, and you find yourself responsible for kids, and you find yourself responsible for an entire family, XYZ. So many of these values and these cultural traditions come from the adoptance of responsibility. And if you don't start off by adopting responsibility for yourself, how can you adopt responsibility for the person you ultimately want to become? So this is my message. My message is, you're not who you want to be, and that's okay. The person you ultimately need to become is right in front of you. The reason you cannot reach him is because you lack the discipline, you lack the commitment, you lack the effort, the energy to go after the things that get you closer to that person. And if you're someone that wants better for themselves, and you're someone that believes that you deserve to live a life that is worth living, and you wish to find the purpose that is important to you, and you wish to connect with people that are on the same page as you, and you wish to have the emotional connections that are important to you, well, this channel is for you. This channel is a way for me to share these ideas out with the world, and we'll be covering everything. We'll be covering everything from mindset shift to actual technical hacks, how to start your own business, how to actually monetize, how to create systems, workflows, how to manage employees, how to deal with people, how to interact with people, how to use body language to your advantage. All of these things that make you a better person, that make you a stronger person, that make you a more capable person. This is what we're going to be discussing on this channel. So if this is something you're interested in, I encourage you to subscribe. I encourage you to leave a comment below. Let me know your name. Let me know where you're from. Let me know where you find yourself at this current moment. And even if it's one person, thank you. Thank you for taking a chance on what this channel is, and for seeing yourself in me, because I see myself in you. I see myself in every single person that wants more from themselves. I see myself in every single person that is struggling. I see myself in every single man that wants to be what a man should be, which is a beautiful thing. Don't let anyone take that away from you. Don't let anyone tell you that that is wrong. Don't let anyone tell you that it's okay to not be strong, to not be fierce, to not be resilient, to be soft. These things are wrong. Be who you authentically wish yourself to be. Tune in every week. I'll be putting out content like this. Guys, from the very bottom of my heart, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. I don't know what this channel is going to be called, but we'll find out. I'm excited for you guys to be along for the ride.